History often echoes the names of great conquerors and the thunder of decisive battles. But some stories are buried so deep that their voices are only felt in the ruins and the yellowed pages of classified files. The year was 1945. World War II was spiraling toward its violent conclusion. Nazi Germany's collapse was inevitable, and Hitler's armies were in a desperate retreat. But amidst the chaos and the rubble, there were thousands of women known to history as the Wehrmachthhelferin. These were nurses, radio operators, and clerks. When the Soviet Red Army surged across the Eastern Front, these women were trapped in a reality where the line between justice and vengeance had completely vanished. Today's story is not from the battlefield. It is a story from the shadows, from the dark, cramped rooms known as the silent cells, a psychological purgatory designed to crush the soul rather than the body. Welcome back to Aviation Tales. Today, we are opening a chapter of history that many would prefer remained closed. This is the raw, gritty truth of a war that didn't end at surrender. Imagine you are a 20-year-old German nurse. You've spent years tending to the wounded, but now the streets of Berlin are filled with smoke and the rhythmic thud of Soviet boots. You are captured, but you aren't shot. Instead, you are thrown into a truck bound for the Soviet NKVD filtration camps. The moment you arrive, your identity is stripped away. You are no longer Elena or Marine. You are just a number AKT $402 to the Soviet Union. These women were more than prisoners. They were vessels for a nation's accumulated rage. The treatment they faced in these camps was $nadenlos merciless. There were no whips, no chains. There was only the silent cell. These women were forced into tiny, narrow closets where they could neither stand straight nor sit down. It was called standing torture. They stood for days until their feet turned black and swollen, while guards pounded on the doors to ensure they never collapsed into sleep. But the true horror was sensory deprivation. They were locked in windowless rooms for weeks where time ceased to exist. A single harsh light bulb burned 24 hours a day, searing into their eyes. Sleep was a luxury they were denied. Every time their eyes drifted shut, they were shocked awake with buckets of ice water or deafening noises. The goal wasn't just to extract information. It was to push the human mind to the brink of madness. Many women began whispering to the walls, screaming the names of the soldiers they couldn't save on the front lines. The combination of isolation and fear was lethal to the spirit. Soviet officers would sit across from them for hours in total silence, simply watching. When the women begged for food or water, the price was always the same. Tell us the secrets of the Reich. They were fed lies, told that their families were dead and that Germany was nothing but a graveyard. They were told that no one was coming to save them. This was the true Schmerzdollar, the pain that no medicine could touch. When the early 1950s finally brought release for some, they returned to a Germany they didn't recognize. But they brought that silence home with them. For decades, they never told their children or their husbands what truly happened in those silent cells. They were vergessen forgotten by history books and erased from public memory. This story serves as a haunting reminder that in the theater of total war, the highest price is often paid by those caught in the middle. Were these women criminals of the Reich? Or were they simply victims of a world gone mad? That is for history to decide. But their echoes still linger in the dark corners of the past. What do you think? Was this a justified reckoning or a descent into inhumanity? Let us know in the comments. For more deep dives into the untold and gritty side of history, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one.